Hello everybody, welcome back to the Movie Cave! Now I hope that you guys are ready for today's video. What are we doing today? Well, we have part 7 of Star Wars Battlefront 3 Concept Space at Launch. Guys, I thank you so much for joining me on this journey of the Battlefront 3 Concept series. If you haven't watched the previous parts, part 1 through 6, go watch them before you watch this one. I will leave a link in the description down below to those previous videos. Go watch those before you watch this one because it would make more sense going forward. With that said, you guys know what's going on, so let's get straight in to the video. So the reason part 7 is all about the space at launch is because I realized that through the series I really haven't talked any about the space. The only thing I mentioned was that there would be the game mode Starfighter Assault in part 3. So I thought, why not just put all of the space material into one video. So part 7, here we go. So to start off, like I started parts 1 through 6, everything would stay the same as it is already in Battlefront 2. I'm just adding new things to it at launch. However, for part 7, I would take out some maps and a ship because I hate how they made Battlefront 2 in the way of you can have a space battle over Ryloth, but you can't be on the planet on foot. That's wrong to me. You can't have a planet be only available for, you can only play on Ryloth, but you have to be in a Starfighter. You can't be on the planet of Ryloth. You have to be above it in the sky with a Starfighter. I know that's trash. I'm not doing it. So to make it more simple, going back to part 2, every single map that I would put into Battlefront 3, I would give them a space version as well. So even if you're on the Death Star 2, you can still fly in a ship outside of the Death Star 2 like Lando and Nien Nunb in Return of the Jedi. Or you can be like Luke and Vader, who were in the Death Star 2 at the time. Like, it has both. You can fly the ship around that planet, or you can be on foot at the planet. I want to point that out. So every single map that I said I put in the game in part 2 would not only have the map on foot, but you'd have the map in space as well. Moving on now to the game modes. In part 3, I mentioned Starfighter Assault, but I didn't bring up any other game modes. So we have Starfighter Capture the Flag. Basically, all you really have to do is remaster it. It was a cool game mode in the original Battlefront 2 from 2005. Then you get Hero Starfighter Assault. This was already in Battlefront 2 from 2017. You just bring it back over. And then we got what I call Total Domination. So to explain it, both teams have a Star Cruiser. The objective is to completely eliminate the enemy team. However, as long as the Star Cruisers are
fully armed and operational,
the fighters can keep respawning. You will have to destroy 6 parts of the Star Cruiser to destroy it. Once the Star Cruiser is destroyed, the game doesn't end, okay? You have to find and destroy all of the remaining fighters to win the game, but they can't respawn since the Star Cruiser has been destroyed. So that's kind of like total domination to me. And then moving on, last game mode I could think of to put in the game at launch would be a space survival. Okay, so picture this. You're alone in space with your light speed not working, while the enemy has discovered your location. You have to fend off each enemy wave until your droid or crew has fixed the light speed, so you can jump and escape to rendezvous with your team. Now that's all the game modes. But Ethan, what about the Starfighters? Oh well, let's talk about them now. So, same as Battlefront 2, the Starfighters would have 3 different classes. Number 1 is the Fighter class, number 2 is the Interceptor class, and number 3 is the Bomber class. So the difference is the fighter class is just an all-around great pick, has great speed and great power. The Interceptor class is the best pick if you're going for speed. They have excellent speed. However, though they're the fastest class, they lack in power. And then the Bomber class is the best class when it comes to power. They deal and can take more damage, however, in the process, they are very slow. So all the Starfighters would stay exactly the same of how they were in Battlefront 2 already. The only one that I'm really kind of going to be talking about in terms of abilities and whatnot will be new ships that I put in. So let's start with the fighter class. So the Republic would get the ARC 170 and the N1 Starfighter. However, the N1 Starfighter would only be available when on the planet of Naboo. The Separatists would get the Vulture droid. The Rebels would get the T-65B X-Wing. The Empire gets the TIE LN Fighter. The Resistance gets the 1070 X-Wing. And the First Order gets the TIE FO Fighter. Moving on to the Interceptor class, the Republic gets the V-Wing. The Separatists get the Tri-Fighter. The Rebels get the RZ-1A Wing. The Empire get the TIE IN Interceptor. The Resistance get the RZ-2A Wing. And the First Order get the TIE SF Interceptor Mark II. Now we got the Bomber class. So the Republic get the BTL-B Y-Wing. The Separatists get the Hyena class bomber. The Rebels get the BTL-A4 Y-Wing. The Empire gets the TIE SA bomber. Now here's the thing. Battlefront 2 didn't have any bombers for the sequel trilogy, so I'm giving them bombers. The Resistance would get the MG-100 Star Fortress that we saw the Resistance use in The Last Jedi. And the First Order would get the First Order TIE AS bomber. I don't even know if it's real, to be honest, but we don't ever see the First Order use a bomber, and I seen a picture of this and thought it looked cool, so there we go. The First Order's bomber would have the same abilities as the Empire's bomber. However, the Resistance bomber would have the same abilities as the Rebels bomber, except the left ability. We don't really see an astromech droid on the Star Fortress in The Last Jedi. So instead of the astromech repair, the Resistance bomber would have the bottom open up and drop a seismic charge that deals damage in a radius. So now, the last thing we got to do is discuss the hero ships. And again, each ship would be the exact same as they are already in Battlefront 2. Let's start off with the prequels. So, you got Darth Maul's Scimitar, I hope I'm saying that right. Yoda's Actis class Light Interceptor, those are already in Battlefront 2. Moving on to hero ships that I would add for the launch of Battlefront 3. We have number 1, Anakin Skywalker's Yellow Starfighter from Revenge of the Sith. The left ability would be an R2-D2 repair. The right ability would be Jedi Instincts. And the middle ability would be Special Modifications. The next ship would be Count Dooku's ship in Attack of the Clones. The left ability would be Sith Hatred. The right ability would be an Afterburner. And the middle ability would be an Ion Pulse. Next we have Obi-Wan Kenobi's Red Starfighter from Revenge of the Sith. And I think we saw it in Attack of the Clones as well. Could be wrong, but I think we did. The left ability would be an R4 repair. The right ability would be Jedi Instincts. And the middle ability would be a Laser Barrage. Next we have General Grievous's Starfighter. The left ability would be Seismic Charge. The right ability would be an Afterburner. And the middle ability would be Focused Rage. Then we got Ahsoka Tano's Delta 7B Ether Sprite. The left ability would be an R7A7 Repair. That's Ahsoka's droid, for those of you who don't know. The right ability would be Jedi Instincts. and the middle ability would be a boosted accelerator pod. And last but not least, for the prequels, we would get Asajj Ventress's Grievous Class Starfighter. The left ability would be a laser barrage, the right ability would be an afterburner, and the middle ability would basically be Darth Maul's Sith Hatred ability, but I would rename it Dark Assassin. So that's all the prequels. Now moving on to the original trilogy, we would start off with the Millennium Falcon. Not the Han Solo's version, just the Millennium Falcon, okay? Were there 3 Millennium Falcons in the galaxy? No, there was 1. Did it change who the owner was? Yeah, Lando had it, Han had it, and then it got passed off to Rey. But it's not a different ship, it's a different pilot. So, the Millennium Falcon is one ship, okay? Okay, the left ability would be the Focused Mind, the right ability would be an Afterburner, and the middle ability would be an Overwhelming Barrage. Then we'd get Luke Skywalker's T-65B X-Wing, Boba Fett's Slave 1, Darth Vader's TIE Advanced X-1, Iden's X-Wing, because she's a hero in Battlefront 3, not a villain. However, she would still have the same abilities as Iden's TIE in Battlefront 2. So it's not a TIE fighter, it's an X-Wing in Battlefront 3, but it has the same abilities as her TIE fighter did in Battlefront 2. Hopefully that makes sense. Then we would have Hask's TIE fighter. The left ability would be an Afterburner, the right ability is dual proton torpedoes, and the middle ability would be an Overwhelming Barrage. Now, moving on to the sequel trilogy, we got Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer, Poe Dameron's T-70 X-Wing, the Millennium Falcon. No, stop. It's the Millennium Falcon. There's not 3, there's 1. It's the Millennium Falcon. Remember that. Iden's X-Wing, Hask's TIE Fighter, and for the last ship coming to the sequel trilogy is Boba Fett's Slave 1. If you're wondering why I'm putting Boba Fett's Slave 1 in the sequels, is because number 1, we haven't seen or heard anything on him dying. Number 2, in Legends, his last appearance was in Fate of the Jedi Apocalypse, set 40 years after Return of the Jedi. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like The Force Awakens and so on would be taking place 40 years after Return of the Jedi. So I think it works. I think it makes sense. Some people might get mad and say, well, it's Legends, it's not canon. Well, let me dream, people. Number 3, I love Boba, and I think this Boba Disney Plus show that'll be coming out will show him living into the sequels. And then number 4, this isn't gonna happen. This is just a concept. If I was in charge of making the game, this is how I would do it. So, I love Boba, okay? Give me a break. So, this has been all of the ideas I got for space in Battlefront 3 at launch. So guys, that was the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Please go subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Make sure that you hit that bell notification so you always know of when I post. Be sure that you comment down below what you want to see next, and also share this video with everybody that you know, because that would be great. So guys, I thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you stay tuned for the next video. You're not going to want to miss it. Already started working on it. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.